Hi, this is a BBC programme that's been on recently. Well, it was shown just a few days ago on the BBC, Hyper-Evolution, Rise of the Robots. And this is a robot. And I don't know, I mean, I actually find this really quite a controversial issue, actually, this idea. I mean, I think we need to get our heads around technology, and we need, as a species, to start asking ourselves some serious questions, because we know for a fact that there is no democracy in this world. What passes for it is a sham, and there's been a mindset in control for a very long time. We know it's a psychopathic mindset, and it has been moving ahead with its technology. Stuff like nuclear power, you know. They foisted all these nuclear reactors on us, telling us, oh, you know, you can run your fridges off it and boil your kettles, when we know damn well that they are bomb-making factories, because you cannot build a nuclear weapon without a nuclear reactor. That's the fact of it. You need a nuclear power station to create the enriched uranium to put in the bombs. And they have been putting that on stuff that they've been bombing Iraq with as well. So, you know, we are dealing with a monster here, okay? A monster that liberates people with depleted uranium. And that monster owns the money, and they're the ones that have been funding this technology. Now, the monster, what does the monster want? It wants absolute control over absolutely everything, because it's a paranoid, schizophrenic, psychotic, afflicted, most of them with a psychosexual disease as well. They're, you know, they're like abusing children, and they're sadists. And so the technology is actually running away from we the people. It is totally in the hands of these insane monsters who are governing, ruling our planet, and destroying it in the process, and destroying us, and poisoning us, and not taking into account our emotions and feelings, because they're psychopaths, and so they haven't got any themselves. And so, you know, they want to create robots that look like people. Well, why? Why do we need a robot that looks like her? Why do we need that? If we're going to have robots, fair enough. That's okay. They can take the workload off people. Let everybody have a beautiful life. Why is it that we've got all this machinery and robots and what have you, but still everybody's working 9 to 5, in fact longer, for less money, and actually there's less jobs, and loads of people are just made completely redundant, or they're on the scrap heap, or they're considered like, oh, let's just throw these people away like we've done in Britain, and just thrown thousands upon thousands of people who were sick and disabled away. People have been driven to suicide. The people that can work, who are unemployed but can't find a job that doesn't pay beyond much of their benefits. You know, and you're talking about 70 quid a week and housing benefit and council tax. That jobs in Britain, that quite a large percentage of people only just are just above that limit. And yeah, and on the other hand, you know, here we have the BBC making the absolutely insane look perfectly normal and wonderful. You know, I mean, the whole point, like I say, what is the point of having this technology if it isn't going to make life easier for us as a species living on this planet? But who is this technology going to make life easier for? Is it going to make life easier for the psychopaths who are controlling us. And we know that they have built like military robots as well. You know, this is a serious issue. It really is. It is a serious, serious issue, because we are literally moving into, you know, a sci-fi horror, aren't we? Let's face it, because we couldn't be any further from, we couldn't be any closer really to the sci-fi horror than we are right now, that we are living in. You know, what is depleted uranium, if not a sci-fi horror that is producing deformed babies in Iraq and Libya and wherever else they've used it? What is destroying our Pacific Ocean? It's a sci-fi horror. That's Fukushima. There's no two ways about it. No matter how many, you know, BBC liars appear telling people that, oh, it's perfectly safe, move back to Fukushima, people of Japan. You know, that were the BBC. Move back to Fukushima. Even lied to people about, lied. They lied to people about the levels of radiation. Absolutely lied. You know, I wrote a complaint to them. It was Professor Busby, Christopher Busby, that alerted me with his article in Green Ecology about how the BBC had lied on their news programme, because he took a reading, and the so-called nuclear expert who was telling Japanese people they should all move back to Fukushima, she said it was only 1 millisievert extra a year, and actually it were 26 millisieverts a year, which is the equivalent to 260 chest x-rays. And you know, I wrote to the NHS saying, well, why is it that you will not recommend and you will not give a pregnant woman a chest x-ray, one chest x-ray? Will you please say something to will you please join me? Because the BBC's apparently telling the women of Japan it's perfectly safe to have 260 chest x-rays a year. And the other thing that this evil so-called expert said was that she compared it to this 1 millisievert that she said it was, when actually we know from the reading that was given it was actually 26 millisieverts. But she actually compares that to natural background radiation. And when I wrote to the BBC with my complaint, and then after it went round the bloody houses till you get to the BBC Trust, and then the BBC Trust writing to me, telling me that, oh, in Cornwall there's, you know, 8 to 10 millisieverts of natural background radiation, and that doesn't harm anybody. And this is how evil and stupid these people are, because they do not understand the difference between natural background radiation and nuclear man-made radiation, okay? Because natural background radiation is non-ionising. It does not enter into your body's cells and make DNA changes, okay? It is the difference between being shot at by a child with a soft pellet plastic gun, or being shot at by somebody with a real gun with real bullets in it. That is the difference, and I am sick to death of hearing them comparing, oh, Fukushima's the same as eating 500 bananas a day. No, it is not. And don't let them lie to you anymore. I'll leave you the link to my, because I've recorded everything that I wrote to the BBC, and I've shared it on Facebook in a Facebook notes, and I'll leave you the links to those notes. Go and have a look, go and click on the links, check for yourself. Non-ionising radiation is absolutely nothing the same as nuclear radiation, which is ionising. That means it will enter into your cells, it will genetically change your cell structures. That's the difference. So anytime you hear them say, oh, but in Cornwall there's 10 millisieverts of natural background radiation, excuse me, that is not the same. The amount of damage that you could get off 100 millisieverts of natural background radiation, probably, it doesn't even come close to the damage from 260 chest x-rays. So, you know, that's the kind of world we're living in, with these people lying to us, putting us at risk, and meanwhile they're trying to build these false, fake humans. And then on the other hand, you know, and I've shared this before, okay, I've shared this before, I've made a video warning people about this. I've noticed now a few other people have picked up on it, but this is, you know, what they're doing now, artificial wombs. Well, I don't know that I want to hand over the child of humanity to these mad, insane psychopaths running our planet. I don't. They can't even protect the children that are born of living women out of living bodies, okay? They cannot protect them. They are actually trafficking and murdering them themselves, the people on top. We know that. Ronald Bernard's told us. We've had 2 children from London tell us. But that's all a hoax. But this isn't a hoax, is it? This is not a hoax. Now, if this was going on in some secret lab and somebody had told you about it, you'd be like, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. Of course they haven't developed an artificial womb. Of course they're not going to try and build robots that look like people. Of course they will do absolutely everything that we allow them to do. And this is what I mean, you know, I made my last video, I made Brexit hell. I'm so angry, I just can't, I really am, I'm so, but it's not anger really, it is deep upset. It's deep upset. Because, you know, I'm trying to tell people the truth of our universal self, that we are quantum energy, that there's no such thing as death, so we can forget all about this live forever stuff, because we know that we're going to be alive forever, and we're going to come back again and again, most of us. So it's like, so what is the problem then? Why can't we just enjoy our planet, look after it, make a nice life for ourselves, you know, get with the universe, get with reality, the truth? Oh, but no, because God isn't real. So what is God then? Tell me, what could God actually be except an intelligence, a pure, compassionate intelligence? Compassionate because it follows a law that takes compassion into account, because we are human beings and we have feelings and emotions and we have empathy, and that is why we're here. The planet has created us to look after the planet. It may be that at some point in the far distant future that, you know, that'll be our only chance of survival, to go make these robots and go and find another planet somewhere, when this one is finally, you know, when our sun turns into a red giant. But that's a very, very long way distance in the future. You know, we haven't even been here as ourselves for as long as how far that is going to be in the future. So, you know, God is basically quantum energy, the same quantum energy that is in every cell of our bodies and powers our thoughts. The same quantum energy that wrote our DNA through its learning and understanding of itself as a reality in the universe. That's why a butterfly can mimic a plant, a flower. That's why a flower can mimic a bee, the bee orchid. because there's a consciousness there, obviously, and it's been learning. Otherwise you couldn't have any such thing as evolution. And yes, things have evolved, because life is about adapting with new knowledge. Well, what new knowledge are we adapting with here? Where has this knowledge come from, except from this insane man, so-called, who has empowered himself on a pack of lies and myth, and this is where it's taking us. And has got us all divided. It's reached this level of technology by dividing humanity against ourselves. Man against woman, woman against man. Divide the man and woman. Divide the children. Children, they're minor. Woman, you're inferior. Man, you're superior. Oh, but you're not superior because you're not rich or you're black. Or you're a Muslim. The Christian's superior. Oh no, sorry Christians, you're not superior. None of you superior. The superior is the Zionist. We're their goyim. Well, as I say, it's your choice, humanity. I have shared my experience, and I've shared it truthfully and honestly. And that's the truth of Jah, that's the truth of the intelligence that created us. And I'll tell you now, if the people of this planet do not wake up very, very soon, okay, then, you know, there's your future, okay, there's your future. And you don't know what... You can't look after a woman and a child. You cannot give them their rights. You cannot understand that child. You cannot even give the child its right as a human being. You have to legally define it as a minor human being. Okay. And you now want to create, now this consciousness that's governing us wants to create its own babies. Don't need a woman anymore. Let's get rid of her out of the way. I'm not happy with it at all, because I just feel like it is a total fucking robbery. It really is. They're stealing our intelligence and turning it against us, and that's what they've done all along, when actually that intelligence is supposed to serve us. The whole point of creating machinery that can do things like weaving cloth is to give people free time so they can enjoy more of their lives and their children, so they don't have to sit there weaving day in and day out just to make clothes for the children. But instead, that technology has been taken over by these people that use it to control people. Still, people are enslaved, and then they're keeping people enslaved, working these machines, and they're still working as even harder actually than they were when they were making the cloth in the cottages. At least they had a life. And then loads of other people saying, oh sorry, we got no jobs for you, go away. Oh, you're ill, you'll have to go to ATOS, maybe you'll pass our assessors. Oh, can you press a button? Yeah, sorry, you can go find work. No, sorry, we can't give you any sick pay until you've only got 6 weeks or 6 months left to live with your cancer. So sorry, yeah, I know you've been diagnosed cancer, you're going through chemotherapy and what, but until you've only got 6 months left to live, no, you're going to have to keep working. What kind of shit system is that? It's just, there's no love at all. Absolutely. Where is the love? Where is it? It seems to me that the love is just for things that money can buy. Oh, what can I get? The love of what? The love of the way we look? Where is the love for human to human? Where are we going? Are we going to stand up for our universal rights? For the universal law of abundance and compassion, which grants our human rights. That's where our human rights, the very concept of human rights, comes from higher intelligence. From compassionate people throughout history who have been recorded their stories in the Bible, including their supernatural experience, because hello, we live in a magical universe, and there are supernatural things happen, and I don't care what anybody says. Oh, they must have been imagining it. What, everybody on earth, as all the people that have recorded all the supernatural experiences that have happened, from UFOs to seeing ghosts to premonition to human telepathy to what was it called, remote viewing, you know, all of these things, they never happened because they don't fit in to their scientific boxes, do they? So anything that doesn't fit in their reality, it's not really happening. And it's like the people on the ground, we're saying their reality, it isn't really happening. It's like everybody's just telling themselves that, oh no, it ain't really happening. It is happening. Depleted uranium is happening in the Middle East. The product from our nuclear reactors. And it is radiation, isn't it? That people will believe in radiation. Oh gosh, if a nuclear power plant, man, everybody be like, oh, radiation, 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 even though they can't see it, smell it, or touch it, or hear it. But there's no way that you can sense it. But everybody, oh, radiation, stay away from that, stay away from that. Everybody can believe in man-made radiation, can't they? So why can't people have the same respect and belief in quantum energy? Universal golden light quantum energy that we are meant to be host to. Well, how is that ever going to be a host to universal golden light? Because these psychopaths don't want universal golden light, because they don't want ever to have to face up to reality and the law. And they will destroy the planet. The only things that will be able to exist on it will be their bloody robots. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is if people can't accept just the truth. If you can't stand up for your children's rights, you can't stand up for your humans' rights. You're living in a country you know is bombing, illegally bombing other countries with depleted uranium, weapons of mass destruction that they said they had in Iraq, and now this country's using it. And the people of Britain just accept it, you know. And again, I'm not talking about the people who are hard working on the ground, who have to get up every day, go and drive the buses, lives are so full of shit, okay? They haven't got time to be thinking about these things. But you professional people and you politicians, you are evil bastards. That's all I can say to you. That's why I cannot vote for any of you. Because none of you are speaking out for humanity. Not one single one of you in British Parliament. You've all sat back and just let it happen. I've heard the wishy-washy, oh, I just want to say we don't like you selling weapons to Saudi Arabia, says the so-called opposition, supposed to be standing up, representing what? What are you representing, opposition? So-called left-wing. What are you representing? Who are you representing? Because you're not representing me. You still have said nothing, not one single one of you have ever mentioned child protection directives, despite all the IICSA shit going on, despite the avalanche of historical crimes against children that are coming out now. And we know all those people that committed those crimes stayed in power. They didn't even, none of them got charged, did they? How many more like them did they invite in? We know what we're dealing with. And you lot in Parliament, with all your 5 wage rises you've had in the past bloody 8 years. Not one of you can stand up and say, we would like EU child protection directives implemented in Britain. We need them. Not one single one of you. Dare to care. You know, that was one MP's slogan. Dare to care. Which I've been saying for years and years and years before she ever supposedly coined it. Dare to care. Really? Dare to care? Well, child protection directives, they're there. Somebody has dared. Somebody has dared to go and look, a group of people, educated people, gone and checked out child abuse, looked at everything, all of it, and come up with child protection directives. And these people in Parliament are still, oh, what can we do? Oh, we need to have a committee, we need to have an inquiry to see what we can do. What, and spend another 20 years before you start actually even getting anywhere close to protecting children? Because what the fuck is this country? I really don't know. I feel so disgusted. I can't even, what can I say? What can I say? It's just so disgusting. It's disgusting. I am disgusted that it, you know, the people around me, so-called friends that I tried to talk about this issue with, and all of them run away, run away, run away, run away. I just can't even. So, you know, what can I say? Enjoy your future, humanity. There it is. You know, maybe in a future life, your quantum energy will be born into one of these machines, to the paedophile that bought it and has grown you. You know what I mean? But I'm just mad. I don't need to think about that, do I? Because to think that is crazy, isn't it? Oh, but it isn't crazy for the government to think, not just think, promise and pledge, to scrap our human rights. That's not crazy, is it? No, I tell you now, if you don't wake up, if you can't accept the reality of the own universal intelligence that created that is your mother, father, okay, then we don't deserve a mother or father. We don't deserve to be alive on this planet. That what we deserve to be, in fact, is a robot. Okay, because that's how we're living. We might as well be robots. Okay? Because any species that cannot rise up and defend its children and stand up for their children's rights, what is that species? What are you? What are we? If we cannot stand up for our child's right. And that to me, I just found it so difficult to live here. I really, really do. I cannot believe the levels of insanity that we're living under as normal. You know, and I'm being judged mad. You know, oh, stop thinking about it. Oh, you go mad if you think about that. Yeah, well, sorry, I've got a brain. It thinks, okay? And this, as I say, I just find it really, really disturbing. And like I say, it is a sci-fi horror. Because we're already living in the sci-fi horror. It can't get any better, can it? It can only get worse. Because they're so far removed from the law, this consciousness that is governing us. They're so far removed from the law that recently I watched a Channel 4 programme about 9/11. And this commentator at the end of the programme described people who hold faith in the laws of physics, okay, as fuzzy thinkers. Do you know what I mean? And that 9/11 just epitomises it all, doesn't it? That there you've got it, staring in your face. 3 buildings, demolition, brought down, free fall. That is an impossibility without it being a demolition. Okay? We know it. We know the laws of physics, but we're being told that no, if you believe in the laws of physics instead of what we're telling you, the official story, you're a fuzzy thinker. Well, you know what I mean? Really. So, obviously, I'm fuzzy thinking now, aren't I? This is my fuzzy thinking. So, make your own minds up, like I say.